Welcome back to Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Ollie Hayes, and today I'm bringing the match preview for our Saturday 3 o'clock trip to Molineux to face Wolves. Our second away trip of the season to a place where we have really struggled in recent seasons, but we might as well start this match preview with Wolves, our opponents, and they're coming into this one after having a pretty difficult start to the season. They've lost to Manchester City in a 4-0 defeat at Molineux, and they also lost to Bournemouth last weekend, but they did scrape past West Ham in a Carabao Cup tie earlier this week on Tuesday night, so they have seemed to get their season off to a little bit of a kickstart playing West Ham, but if you're looking at their season as a whole, look at their summer transfer window. They've obviously lost Ryan Aït-Nouri to Manchester City. They've lost Matthias Cunha to Manchester United. Jurgen Strand Larsen is now under heavy interest from Newcastle, so their summer, really has seen their squad that kept them in the league under Vitor Pereira last season. It's seen that squad be pretty much picked apart and picked to bits, but they do still have some decent players there. Obviously, you look at the likes of Marshall Monetzi. I think he's a player that's he really found form towards the back end of last season. He actually did score in the 1-1 draw at Molineux against Everton last season. João Gomez is another one. He's a player who's he was really good for Wolves up towards the back end of last year. But if you're looking at Wolves now in August, I think this is something that a stat that's really been growing in importance for Everton and also Wolves as well. Wolves were actually winless in August in 11 straight matches in the Premier League. That dates back to 2011. So hopefully that's a good stat to help us going into this one. But there's no doubt about it. When Wolves are playing well at Molineux, they are a very, very tough team to play. Molineux's been a place where we've really, really struggled in recent seasons to even get a result or even a draw. So it's one that, we'll really be looking to put right. But if we're looking at Everton now, we come into this one after 2 wins in a row at our new home, Hill Dickinson Stadium. Obviously, a 2-0 win against Brighton in a fantastic performance. Maybe we rode our luck a little bit at times against Brighton, but no doubt about it, we deserve the 2-0 victory on Sunday in the curtain raiser at Hill Dickinson Stadium, and then playing Mansfield Town in the Carabao Cup second round, putting in a professional performance there to come away and actually ended up drawing Wolves in the third round at Molineux later in September. But we'll get into that, in a few weeks. We're looking at Everton now. I think Mykolenko will probably come back into the starting 11. It can push James Garner back up into midfield, which is what we saw against Mansfield Town. I think the likes of Iliman Ndiaye will play, Kane and Dewsbury Hall, Jack Grealish. I'd like to see them as a three maybe. And I think with Tyler Diblin, we probably just have to bide our time a little bit. I think we all wanted to fly straight into the team and start scoring goals and getting assists in an Everton shirt. But I think we have to be realistic with him. He's only 19 years old. He's making a big move from the South Coast up to Merseyside. So we've just got to stick by him. And maybe if we can see him get a little bit of minutes and first Premier League action for Everton, that'll be positive. But as I said before, I think Mykolenko coming back into the side just to offer a little bit more balance in defence will probably be the one that we see. And maybe Jake O'Brien back in at right back for Seamus Coleman. Obviously, he playing the full 90 minutes in the 2-0 win over Mansfield Town. But if we look at Everton as a whole, if we look at our away performances in recent times, we've actually won 5 of our last 10 Premier League away games. So that really shows how good we have been on the road since David Moyes came in. You're looking at some big wins in there. You look at like Nottingham Forest, for example. That was a fantastic win under David Moyes. But I think it just shows that towards the back end of last season, we did really become hard to beat on the road, which is something I've not seen from an Everton side in so long. But moving away from the various sides now, we'll focus on the head-to-head. And our record against Wolves in recent times hasn't been the best. Since their return to the top flight in 2018, we've only won at Molineux once, and that was actually behind closed doors under Carlo Ancelotti. That was, I think, Alex Iwobi and Michael Keane got on the score sheet that day, and we didn't have a striker. But if you're looking at all of our times playing Wolves at Molineux with fans in, we haven't actually won once. So something that really needs to be addressed, because it's a team that have been fighting in and around us in the league for the last two seasons, maybe last 3 seasons. So it's a team that we really should be beating home and away. If you look at last season, for example, a 4-0 win and a 1-1 draw, which is quite decent. I think last season's 1-1 draw was probably the closest we got to winning at Molineux with fans in. I think it was, can you call it a Jack Harrison screamer? It wasn't a screamer at all. It was a Jack Harrison deflected effort, which bobbled past Jose Sarr, which was then eventually pegged back by Marshall Monetzi, which I mentioned earlier in this video. But that's probably the closest we've got in terms of getting a victory at Molineux with obviously a full stadium with fans in. So something to look forward to maybe on Saturday is trying to put that right. I think it's definitely the opportunity. As I said before, Wolves haven't started the season very well, and we've sort of clicked into gear now after that disappointing evening on the Monday night football at Ellen Road against Leeds United, losing 1-0 there. We've kind of clicked into gear now, so it's something maybe to look forward to is a decent performance on Saturday. So we'll move into the prediction now, and I'm actually going to be very positive with this. I'm going to say 3-0 to Everton. I think it'll set us up really nicely for the international break. I think it's the time we'll see Jack Grealish and Iliman Ajayi really click even more than they did so against Brighton on Sunday. So that's going to be my prediction. I'm going to say 3-0 Everton and a really, really good performance on the road against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about how we'll get on in our first Saturday 3 o'clocker of the season. It's good to have the football back on a Saturday for once. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about this preview and your predictions for this game on Saturday. But that is all from me today. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'll speak to you soon.